Yo, welcome to the twice a day meditation gang. Welcome to the gang. A lot of things gonna happen. Thank you for sharing that, and it's very good that that was our last win before we're starting, because that's what I want to talk about today. How to overcome failure or setbacks, and what I like to call my $4,500 lesson. And if you guys don't know, if you're new here, what's good? My name is Sebastian. I see myself as the host of our movement, and my win for this week is, I swear my life, my win for this week is fucking having David in my life. There's been a lot of moments this week when I'm like, where's David? Where's David right now? So me and David, we've been best friends since we were 12. So you know when people say like, yeah, this is my right hand man. So I'm like, David is not my right hand man. I can live without my right hand. David is like my right half of my brain. That's what it is. Where can I get a David? Is Liz asking. I don't know. They are unlimited supplies, but if you hang around long enough, we might create an online course how to be a David. You know what I mean? Anyway, my $4,500 lesson and how to overcome failure. This it's a kind of an embarrassing story, but we've been hanging around for a long time together. I think Klaus has been here for close to a year and a half, or 2 years even, and I feel it's time for me to share it. So, a few years ago, before Be Fit and Sensual Festival was even a thing, I had this, what we are witnessing right now. Like I had like the outline of a movement, an outline of dancers training and becoming better and stronger together. That idea was something I developed together with Judith from Bachata Sensual, because we lived together. But I always wanted an online platform. I always wanted an online platform where I could share this knowledge that I was having. And I was studying at the Norwegian School of Sports Science at the time. So really, if I count the expenses of that in, this lesson I've learned should be, it's not $4,500, it's more. Let's just say more. But it all led me to this spot. And what happened was that I wanted an online platform where I could share not only my vision of training for dancers, but connect other people. Connect other people with each other and connect other dance instructors to do the same. So I mapped it out, I wrote it out on a piece of paper. I still have this piece of paper, it's in Spain right now, but I have like the outline of everything. And it took tons of time. And I get obsessed extremely easily. I get obsessed extremely easily by an idea, and then I just have to go for it. Always been like that, and hopefully I will always be like this. So anyway, I go full in, I design the website, I come up with the idea, I do zero marketing research, zero. I just think that this is an amazing idea, and let's go for it. I contact a designer, a web designer. I pay him around $2,000, something like that, 1,800. I think let's call it $2,000, because I had to fix some things afterwards. The website looks amazing. Everything goes. I also at the same time get a mentor, and this is a key moment. I get a mentor, which was the wrong mentor. It was not the mentor I needed. It was not the mentor I needed at all at the time. But I really wanted somebody to be able to connect with. It was new. It was like uncharted territory. You guys can hear me, right? Yeah? So it was uncharted territory for me. I've always been a guy of mentors, but this time I didn't do enough research. So I get the mentor, I pay him $1,500 up front just to be part of it, just to be part of his inner circle. And for $1,500, I get to have one call. I talk to him 1 hour per month, and I get to join one webinar every second week. Me being the idiot I am at the time, I have no idea what is what, right? So just the first month, I introduce myself. They start to talk about things that I have no idea of. I'm in a very destructive part of my life. When he's having the webinar, I'm also traveling. So I'm out in, I think I'm in Canary Islands or something like that, and I listen to it while I'm at the beach. I'm not taking it seriously at all. It's a disaster. I get to pay next month I get to pay another 1,500, and then finally I launch my website, and nothing happens. Nothing happens. I had a full strategy of what I was expecting to happen. I thought this was gonna be life-changing, now it's happening, I'm doing this thing, blah, 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 blah. Remember, this is before Be Fit and Sensual. Or Be Fit and Sensual, what it is today. Or the festival. Again, I'm in a very destructive part of my life. This is around 2014, 15, it needs to be between 15 and 16. For you who know my story, in 2015, I hit panic anxiety. That's when panic anxiety and just depression becomes a big part of my life, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, we don't know yet. What happens is that I wake up in the middle of the night. I have all of these deep traumas from before that are revisiting me. I can wake up in the middle of the night with anxiety. I still can, or it still happens. And it's just not a nice life I had at that moment. I really, really did not enjoy my life at that time at all. But with this lesson that I learned today, or that I learned at that time, now is what I'm doing. I'm doing it full time. I'm living solely on training dancers. I'm living solely on inspiring other people. What I wanted to be an online gym is soon to be an online clinic, because we are actually taking in doctors right now into Dancers Bootcamp. We are we're not only having my inner circle students, we also have our movement together now. We are actually a worldwide movement. This is why I love to hear where everybody's from. So if I would have stated that $4,500 lesson as a failure, then none of us would be here. Did that make sense? And I really believe that is such an important lesson. That is such an important lesson. This is easier said than done. Make no mistake, this is easier said than done. But I strongly believe that this is the only way to look at it. This is the only way to look at it. Look what Veronica was saying before. She shared her story. Everything turned to shit. Mic didn't work. Camera didn't work. Boom. We found a solution. Stayed positive as much as I can. Great response from other people. Wow, Veronica, you did that really professional. Turning a failure into a lesson, or turning an obstacle into an opportunity. Turning an obstacle into an opportunity is very close related to turning a failure into a lesson. It's not the same thing, but they are very closely related. You know, they are next door neighbors. Same what Anna Milite shared with us. I was in a scooter accident. I got hit by a car, but I'm very happy I'm still here. Turning an obstacle into an opportunity, or turning a failure into success, into a lesson. My computer just shut down. I turned it into an opportunity by going and grabbing David's computer. The lesson is always have David. You know what I mean? Always have a David in your life. That's the lesson I got from it. And there is a saying, there's a beautiful saying. It says, success leaves clues. Anybody heard that before? Success leaves clues. It's like if you want to become successful, just look at what other successful people have done and copy and paste it. You know, that famous quote from Pablo Picasso. Good art is copy, great art is steal. But failure, if success leaves clues, failure leaves breadcrumbs. It leaves like Hansel and Gretel, or which story is it? Is it Hansel and Gretel when they're dropping candy? Like if success leaves clues, failure leaves candy to the path of success. I strongly believe it. I strongly believe that every setback you have in life, every obstacle you've been facing, if you face it correctly and you are woman enough to face it and really get something out of it, then that's the breadcrumb that's gonna lead you to success. I promise you that. Because it's only failure when you stop. It's very important to remember this. It's only failure when you stop. When you decide and tell yourself, wow, I failed. I'm not gonna try again. My ego is too big for me to dare to try this again. My ego is too fragile for me to go and try this again. That's when it becomes a failure. That's when it becomes the failure. And those are fears. Those are true fears. For you guys who was in my mental discipline 4-week program before, we talked about just that. Fear of failure. Your ego is holding you back from getting where you want out of life. You know? I don't know if you guys can see all of the screens now, but I can see each and every single one of you. And Abuela Luz, she was here just a second ago with her grandson or daughter, one of her grandchildren. You think, like, we as humans, we are designed to fail and move forward with it. But it's just that once we grow older, our ego starts to hold us back. Like, have you ever seen, I talked about Abuela Luz and her grandchildren, like, have you ever seen any child just fail with walking? You know, first time you're walking, you take like half a step and then hit the ground? I have yet to see a child just stay on the ground and said, you know what? Fuck this. Walking is not for me. Let me just stay down. You know, let me just stay down. This walking thing, this is not for me. You know what I mean? If anybody have seen that child, please correct me if I'm wrong. You know what I mean? I'm wrong. I'm wrong frequently. But my point is that it only becomes a failure when you label it as failure. Who here, like, I read somewhere that Michael Jordan had, he's like, the key to my success is that I failed more than you. That's the key to my success. I missed 5,000 shots. 5,000 shots in my professional career. For you guys who know, Steph Curry is another basketball player. He's one of, if not the world's best scorer three-pointers, which is like when you're standing outside of the line. Guess what his hit rate is? The world's best three-point scorer in basketball. Guess what his hit rate is? It's less than 60%. But he's best in the world at it. He's best in the world at it, but he misses more than he hits the hoops. But he does it over and over and over and over and over again. I want everybody to think right now of a moment. Take a moment here. Think about a moment when you failed at something, but you actually learned something from it now in retrospective. I want you to type that down. It's only us here. I'm gonna read it out loud, but I'm not gonna read any names. So share it. What is a time when you failed at something hard, but now in retrospective, it was actually a valuable lesson that brought you to somewhere new? My $4,500 lesson, it led us all here. This is the reason I'm still here. Like, I have failed so many times in business that I don't have fingers to count anymore. You know how many times I tried to, and I'm using the word tried, because I didn't do it. I tried. I didn't do it. That was a try. Big difference. Big difference. Remember, success leaves clues. And same thing goes with failure. If success leaves clues, then failure is the breadcrumbs that's going to lead you to the path of success. You need to look at both. You need to look at both. First time I judged a dance competition. That is a time when one of us failed, but now in hindsight it became a really valuable lesson. If you never hosted or judged a dance battle before or dance competition, it's a scary position to be in. I've judged tons of battles and competition, and it's not always nice. Out of body experienced. I failed in my marriage, but now I'm happier than I was when I was married. In my first marriage, bad investments. An exercise in class where teacher asked me to dance like an alien was coming out of my stomach while keeping popping technique. Come on, that's not fair. That's not fair. But look at those. I feel that those are so true. Those are so valuable things to have in mind. I call it my cookie jar. I got that from David Goggins. Everybody should have this. Everybody should have a list. This is your homework. This is your homework, everybody. Everybody should have a list of all the things you have failed on that you turned into lessons. Or the way I like to phrase it for myself, all the gangster shit I've done that put me in this position where I am today. I overcame depression. If that's not gangster, I don't know what is. I used to get chased by Nazis. True story. I'm here now. I've done a lot of shit in my life that I could have came up a lot worse. I know and I say but all of you guys have as well. And those are things that you need to remember. You need to remind yourself who you are sometimes. Sometimes you need to put that into your system. It's like, wow, I failed in my first marriage, but what a valuable lesson that was. You failed in your first marriage, but you didn't fail in love now, did you? You know what I mean? What a valuable thing. What a valuable thing. I had a lot of crazy girlfriends, believe it or not. There's been more than one crazy woman in my life. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying I'm perfect. But I'm saying that there's been at least one. But valuable lessons came out of that relationship. Which is that when I'm entering into a new relationship, I can enter it in with confidence because I know what I did. I know what I overcame. I have that in my cookie jar. I take the cookie jar to extreme. I have it literally written down. You should, anyone, like a man and a woman, should be proud of the things you overcome. That proves who you are, and it proves who you are to yourself. And that's why we are starting every class with the wins. Because a lot of us believes, we're gonna buy a new computer. I'm having a Mac computer right now, but I'm gonna buy one of those computers where I can draw on the screen. because I have a lot of things I want to draw, but I'm doing it old school style. All right, I'm gonna draw it on a piece of paper. For you guys who know how good my drawing is, stay with me. If not, if you're new to the gang, enjoy this beautiful painting you're about to see, all right? All right, here we go. Most of us believe that training in life should go like this. Straight up, a straight line. I'm here to tell you that it's not. Most of us believe that our dance progress is to be a straight line. I'm here to tell you it's not. You are going 2 steps upwards, then 1 step back, 2 steps upwards, then you get injured, then you go 3 steps upwards. This is how progress looks. This is more a realistic graph, at least out of my life. If you're this person, if that's you, I laugh at you. You had it way too easy. You had it way too easy. People that have been struggling, which I know all of us have in one way or another. People that have been struggling and turned their lessons into an opportunity, we as a collective are gonna run laps we're gonna run laps around the person who we're competing with. We're gonna run laps behind them. It's like, I compete against everyone, but I compete against nobody. I compete against myself. The goal is to be a little bit better than you were every day. Like, I strive of progression. I strive of progression. I had a friend today, we were talking. He told me, he's like, yo, have you seen this dancer? Boom, he has 1 million followers on Instagram. I'm like, wow, awesome. That's amazing. How many lives can he tell? He's like, and then he told me, he's like, how many do you have? I'm like, right now I have 8,409 followers on my Instagram. Not a lot. There's probably people here that have more than me. Let's be honest. But I couldn't care less on the amount of people that are following me. Talk to me about the people you've impacted. Talk to me about the amount of lives you impacted. For me, if it's one, I win. I don't believe a lot of people impact more than one person during their lifetime. I swear on my life, like, I truly don't believe that. But I feel it's my obligation to do it. So if I can impact one person, it's like, wow, what if that's not a win, I don't know what is. Let me go back to read some of these questions here. My first interview, I failed in my first interview. I failed in friendship and relationships, but I see now that I'm doing much better without some of them people. Because they influenced me in a bad way. Cut, you know? Every once in a while, every person needs to bring out the scissors. You call me the gardener. I do this weekly. As soon as a new person steps into my life, one gotta go. That's extreme. I'm joking, obviously. But to a certain extent, I'm like that. You can only have that many people in your life. Failure in job. When I became a project lead manager, became a project leader, I guess it says, and my colleagues didn't accept it, and me, that hurt a lot, and they didn't want to work with her anymore, and treated her not well. But I developed myself, and I know how to treat my team better. You know what I mean? Years of bombing teachers, teaching job interviews. I feel this is such an important lesson because I talk to almost every one of you on the phone weekly. If not you, it's If it's not you, it's your closest ally. It's the people you are spending the most time with online. I don't know how many phone calls I do per week, but tons. You know, I do so many that I don't want to track them. But I hear the same. It's not a failure. It's only a failure when you label it as one. Don't believe that Edison, I was about to say Edison. Let me rephrase that. Don't believe that Nikola Tesla invented electricity on his first try. That didn't happen. Trust me on that. I know they teach us in school that Edison invented electricity, but don't believe everything we read in school. We also believe that Black History Month or Black History is slavery. That's not. That's not Black history, that's European history, the way I see it.
So how do you define failure, Sebastian?
Keep going.
Since you can be trying a lot, like when does it become a failure?
It becomes a failure when you stop trying, when you stop going for it. And sometimes it's very important to remember also that winners quit. Winners understand when this is a stupid idea. Winners understand that this is a bullshit idea. This is not what I'm supposed to do. Let me pivot and go in other direction. That's what winners do. That's how you win. That's how you win in life. But did you pivot and change direction because it was the right thing to do? Or did you pivot and change direction because you were scared of failing? Big difference. And only you know. I'm not gonna tell nobody. What's wrong or what's right. But when you fail, when you don't give yourself another chance. When you don't give yourself another chance, that's when you fail. And a lot of us know. I believe like failing would be, I failed in my marriage. I didn't learn anything. Then I went into a new marriage. I failed in that one. I went into a new one. I failed in that one. I still didn't learn anything. And now I don't believe in love anymore. Because then there is external things that have been blocking you. Then there is external factors that took control over you. And we talked about this. Before. It's not the external things that should control you. You should control what's happening in here. And only you can control what's happening in here. I'm ranting right now, but thumbs up if I'm making any sense. Yeah? I get really passionate about this subject. Tell me, before we finish, I need 5 minutes at least to change clothes. I said everybody was gonna come in training clothes and I didn't myself. So I need 5 minutes to change before we start the workout. What has been most helpful so far with this webinar? Let me know. What has been the most helpful so far with this webinar, if anything? Let me see. Failure can make you even stronger. Failure when you stop trying. To stop is the failure. Failure is only a fact when you stop trying. Reflection on the numbers of failures I overcome. Accept failure as the positive moment and not to give up. Don't give up. Push through the failures. Writing a cookie jar list. Or if you label it. Again, I don't believe in trying. I don't believe in the word trying. I don't think that's a word that should be in our vocabulary. I believe that's I believe it's an excuse, you know what I mean? Like I believe it gives you an exit. It gives you an exit to not go as full out as you should be. Because it's like, well, I was only trying. Well, I was only trying to be a good mom. I'm trying to lose weight. I'm trying this thing called life. We don't say that about a kid, do we? He's trying to walk. No, he's learning how to walk. Oh, look, he's so cute. He's trying to read. We don't say that. He's learning how to read. You know? But then all of a sudden we become grown-ups. And then we got this thing called ego. And then we have a lot of external shit happening. And then all of a sudden everybody's trying. You didn't try, you did your best. Now go back and do it again. You didn't work, did it? No, but you did your best, so go back and try. Go back and do it again. Don't go back and try. Go do it again. You know what I mean? For me, it's so weird, I swear. For me, it sounds weird. Try, I'm trying to lose weight. No, you're not trying, you're doing it. That's why you're here. This is part of it. This is how it looks. You're doing the workout. You're not trying, you're actively doing your absolute best that you can out of your ability to lose weight. I'm trying to become a dancer. No, you are a dancer. This is what it is. You take dance classes, you go to dance, you go to social dancing, you do your part-time shows. This is what it is. You're not trying. This is exactly what it is. Exactly. Trying implies that you're half-assing it. Come on. Nobody's half-assing it. Nobody in this group is half-assing it. Let me tell you that much. Nobody in this group is half-assing it. If you are half-assing it and you come to a webinar to listen to me for an hour, I mean, if that's you half-assing it, I mean, Jesus Christ, imagine if you went full out. Imagine if you went full out. You're 1%ers. That's why you're here. That's why you're here. Now the people who are in my inner circle, I mean, you are 1% of the 1%. You are the crazy bunch. But I can talk more about that in another webinar. You try new food, you learn, oh, this is a good one. I'm gonna steal this one. Who said this? You try new food, you learn new things. Yo, David, write it up. Yo, I'm gonna post that on my story tomorrow. Good one, abuela luz. You know, good artists copy, great artists steal. I'm gonna steal it. I'm even gonna put myself as a quote, as the guy who said it. Yo, that's a nice one. I really liked it. You try new food, you learn new things. Big facts. We're gonna leave it with that. That's a great summary. Okay? Failure is lessons. Don't try, learn.